I want to show you some examples of posters that students in the past 2 or 3 years have produced in response to this idea of capturing your research personality in a poster. And really this is just to show you the huge variety of ways that you can interpret this remit, and you can really have some good fun with it. I really hasten to point out though that it's not art homework. Some of these are visually beautiful, but that's not what the marks are for. The marks are really for a creative, inventive thought that your presentation demonstrates to be really meaningful to you. And that's what some of the best of these really did. The student talked for 5 minutes about their creation, and one could see the sparks. You know, you could appreciate really what had gone into that. So just to highlight a couple of my favourites. This one goes through the history of Chinese medicine using old newspapers that the student has kind of mocked up as a kind of structuring device for the different periods of Chinese history, which is rather beautiful and innovative. Completely differently, a student here has used their IT skills to produce a word cloud, which encapsulates all of the things this student thinks about around the topic of acupuncture and research. And then when speaking about it, the student was able to dive in and out of this in a very kind of convincing, compelling way. Some other amazing things we have here, and these live in the college, so do feel free to come in and have a physical look through them. I can't leave out Beijing Barbie. So this doll was made to represent the wax models that were used as acupuncture practice tools in ancient China. So the idea being that you've got your brass model inside with holes in it at acupuncture points, cover it with wax and fill it with water, probably not in that order. And then your acupuncture student needs to needle the exactly right point in order to penetrate the wax, go through the hole in the brass, and the water spurts out. So it's a kind of an immediate learning tool. So the student has reconstructed one of these, and that's just to show you really that when I say poster, you know, it really is in the loosest possible sense. If you want to bring some sort of three-dimensional element to it, go right ahead. Another student, as you see over there, made a board game, which actually has translated for that student into a very useful revision device, because it encapsulates loads of TCM stuff that, you know, is on little cards for practicing and learning. And I suppose the one to end up with is the very wonderful, although sadly not anonymous, Qi sandwich, which this particular student chose to talk about Qi and his personal relationship with Qi in this innovative and made of sponge form. So do feel free to come and have a proper look through these. They live in the first floor landing cupboard, and all the students have given permission for them to be used. And really when you're doing this, keep in mind that it's personal to you. I really want to know what fires you up when you think about Chinese medicine, how your research personality comes through in that. Here this student has talked about a documentary that meant a lot to him, and then referenced these things, you know. So a Harvard reference to this resource then gives a kind of a methodological shot in the arm to the whole process. So you've got something beautifully creative anchored in the reference material that you used to make it. Feel free to come and talk to me about your ideas about it, and I can just say that this is always, the presentation day of these posters is always my absolute favourite day of the year, so no pressure.